Welcome everyone to our monthly masterclass. We're super excited to welcome David Moerman on with us. Yeah, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
We have a super awesome little meeting planned. So David is going to be talking to us about how to build your business without spending an arm and a leg on marketing, which is huge, especially with how crazy the world is right now. We all know we could save a couple extra bucks for gas and whatnot. So we're super excited. We have David. I introduced him a little bit. We'll talk a little more about him later. We also have Michelle on with us today. She's with us here at Jill's office. She is our director of business development. So yeah, we are gonna dive right in talking about David really quick. So David is the founder at a home service business coach, which specializes in helping busy home service business owners, so like most of you, add simple steps to your business to achieve more freedom. So that's super awesome. He also is the owner of Revive Services Ltd, which I think this is super awesome. They donate 3% of their revenue to sponsor water projects in Cambodia. So that's awesome. How did you get into that, David?
Yeah, it's kind of a long story, but I started backpacking through Southeast Asia. I was on a motorcycle tour. I saw that villages that didn't have clean drinking water, and I came back. Originally started hosting parties, charging people $20 at the door. We sponsored 3 water wells, and then I thought, how can I actually build a business, use my business skills, marry that with my passion for charity? And Revive was born in 2016. So good question there, Caitlin.
Wow, that's awesome. I love things like that. That's kind of where my heart is like giving to, as much as I can. So that's really cool.
For sure. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, we'll go ahead and dive in and turn the time over to you and teach us all we need to know about saving an arm on marketing.
Yeah, sounds good. I've definitely spent a few limbs in my day on marketing, a couple arms, couple legs. So if I, really my goal, I was quite honored you guys asked me to come on and teach the session. If I can really just help bring value to the community that I serve, that's a big win for me. I find sometimes these talks stay a little bit airy-fairy, and so I'm like, I want to give as much practical examples as I can. So I'll kind of share my screen a little bit. I was just sharing this stream out to my Facebook group and on my Facebook page, so hopefully we can get some good engagement coming in. Everyone feel free to drop any questions or whatnot in the chat, and maybe we can, who knows, maybe we'll have time for some questions. So yeah, arm and a leg with marketing, guys. What does that really mean? I think a big thing we've got to focus on, especially for businesses newer, is really focusing on building out a brand. That's a big thing. I think sometimes we think we need to become, famous on the internet, or everybody needs to know about us. I think when you're running a local service business, you just really want to get famous in your community, and kind of in certain neighborhoods you work in. Caitlin mentioned my pressure washing company, Revive. We stay very busy through the year, and a lot of that business has been built in like 30 to 40 different neighborhoods. And so I think when you look high level at your business, you want to be thinking, how can I benefit from referrals? How can I benefit from reviews? And how can I build a local brand? And some of you that are like, okay, sounds good, give me meat and potatoes here. Me, like, honestly, we've never really spent more than 7-8% of our overall revenue in marketing. So, some people are like, well, I want to do 100 grand window cleaning business, I got to spend 20 grand in marketing. I'm like, no, you don't. You need to spend like 6 or 7, maybe 8. And you should get 100 grand. So this isn't just a 1 year. Dave has done this and tried it. I've been in services now for going on 14 years, which is crazy. I've had 2 painting companies. I've had a pressure washing business that has a Christmas light business now as well. So this is kind of tried and tested. So I love teaching this topic because I've done it and I'm doing it. So kind of begs the question, where should we be putting our time? Where should we be putting our money? So I've got kind of like 3 things that I'll kind of be talking about through this session. And again, any questions or Michelle or Caitlin, just stop me if you got a question or whatever, and I'll shut up and take a question. So the first thing, guys, I think a lot of your business is just lying right under your nose. And we've learned this kind of the hard way. I grew my painting business, and really, we did a really poor job of going back to our client base and offering them more services, right? And you might think, well, painting company, you paint the house, you should be good for 7 years. You should, but there's also like inside painting that could be done. There's also referrals to other neighbors, and a lot of affluent clients, guys, will actually have like 2 or 3 homes. Not all the time, but we get a lot of business that's like, oh, you did a good job on my house, go do, you know, my other house up the neighborhood or whatever. So that's a great inroad, is like, look, that's the first thing I want to talk about today, is like, look right under your nose for who your clients already are, because that's how we keep our marketing spend so low. We're not having to go spend tens of thousands of dollars on Facebook ads or Google PPC. We still do paid ads. However, I think first you need to get your organic marketing brewing, building a local brand. And then guess what? The paid ads is really just the gasoline that you're going to pour on top of an already brewing fire. And so look internally to your client base. I'd say even if you have 40 clients right now, let's say, the reason I say client, not customer, is because we want to get clients recurring with us, coming back. We want to kind of normalize that. And so that's really what we've drilled in our brain at my company, is make them clients. We want clients for life, not just a one-time customer. So 40 clients, what do you do? I would be running a 2-step here, right? The first thing I would do, I would look onto MailChimp. A lot of people I've worked with in my program never even heard of, like, what is MailChimp, right? Go to Google, search MailChimp. In as little as 2 hours, you can send out an email to your current client base, right? You want those emails short, you want them punchy, and you want them with a clear call to action. So simply just saying, hello, customer first name, or client first name, sorry, caught myself. Thank you so much for hiring us with ABC, with window cleaning. We're starting to come into our busy season. We'd love to get you back on our schedule. Please click here to get your quote, or simply reply to this email. You know, thank you so much. Business owner's name, business company name, end of story. So really short. You can be pushing a 10% off. You could be doing a $50 off, whatever. Right now across the country, we're kind of dealing with like summer seasonal slowdown, right? August is like, it can be a tough month for a lot of people to plug up their schedule. Number of reasons for that, but a lot of people take their holidays in August, right? The kiddos are out of school, they're going to the lake, they're going to Mexico, they're going to wherever, to Florida. And so, you know, cleaning the windows, cleaning the roof, pressure washing the driveway, not necessarily front of mind. So as you grow your brand, it's like building a snowball. You're going to have this base that grows, and you can just go right back to your client base. For my business, we're blessed with a bunch of clients that we can go back to, and we send out 3 to 4 targeted email campaigns per year. Not spammy. We're not showing the clients what we ate for breakfast or this, that, the other thing. It's very simple. Just, hey, we'd love to service you again, get you back on our schedule. So that's kind of the first thing to mention. Email, guys, is great. Don't abuse it. It's a tool. And so the one thing I'll say, and then I'll take a drink of water, would be phone your clients too. Like, look, we're on with Jill's office right now, right? Like, to not spend $500 in marketing and give Jill's your client base of however many people and say, do some outbound calls. We've got members in our program. It's like a light bulb went off. I've never called my clients before. I've never emailed my clients. So I would say, to the business owner who has 40 clients, let's say your average job size is maybe $500, I would wager they have 4 to 15 grand in that client base that they just need to go out and tap their clients on the shoulder and say, hey, I know you're busy. It's time for another service appointment. So that's kind of first part. Talk about email campaign, phone campaign. Let's look internally. And everything I said, guys, MailChimp is free up to 2,000 people, and hiring Jill's or hiring someone to call your clients, maybe $1,000, depending on the size of your base. So any questions on that so far at all?
I love that you mentioned multiple ways, because I think that that's always so powerful, even if you feel comfortable texting as well, you know, because it's like, you want to get in front of them in the way they're going to pay attention. And some people are going to pay attention in email, some of phones, calls, some of text. And I think it's really helpful too, even in text, hey, I zipped you an email with a 10% off. Let me know if you have any questions. So you're kind of even referencing, or on the phone call, letting them know that we just recently sent them an email. Just wanted to make sure it didn't go in their spam. You know, we have a limited amount of spots available. And so you kind of use those different menus together. I really like that.
Yeah, like multiple touch point is everything in marketing, right? And so I think as you'll see in business exactly what Michelle said. You want to find not what is Dave, the business owner's preferred method of communication, it's what is my client's preferred method. And we've realized if we make 10 outbound calls, like let's say you have your client base of 40, you make 10 of those first calls, you're probably only going to talk to 3, 4, maybe 5 people, maybe 6 if you've got horseshoes in your pockets. But it's honestly, people don't always pick up the phone. And so just simply leaving a message or following up with a text message, I actually turned off my voicemail. I don't even really check it. In my voicemail, it says, please send me a text message. That's my preferred mode. So even if you don't get them, hey, Michelle, Dave with Revive, just checking in. Would love to get you back on our schedule. We got a couple spots. We're in your neighborhood next week, et cetera, et cetera. Did you want to get back on the schedule? Question mark, right? So I think it blows my mind why business owners like quit their 9 to 5, start a business, and then they're like, oh, I'm so scared to like promote myself. I'm not sure if that skill maybe gets learned or if you just have it, but I will tell you, when I was 20 years old, starting this business, I was extremely shy and I knocked on thousands of doors. And that's what taught me just to turn on a live like this and talk about whatever. And so it can take some time, but I do think most business owners need to like dial up the heat on how much they're promoting their business. And if you don't believe in your business, like you should be like the #1 ambassador. Promoting your business is so key.
That's right. Yeah, I love that.
Totally. So yeah, that's the first thing. Okay. So internal, one thing I will tack on to the phone discussion as well. And I know we've been teaching this in our program like the last month. So I'm just going like Cole's notes here. But one other thing would be happy calls. Okay. Like if, I'm in a coaching role, I'm all about systems, right? We are talking about today on our call on the acronym of system. I read it somewhere online or in a book. Said system stands for save yourself time, energy, and money. And I'm like, I love that. So
I love that.
that's what a system does. And a phone system is a way that we can generate calls from our client base. And so it's tougher if you're owner operator, you're juggling a lot of things, busy at home, trying to grow your business. Like March, April, May, June, crazy for the cleaning niche, right? Right now, though, August, you should probably have a little bit of time to breathe. You lift your head up, you look left, you look right, and you wonder, what should I be doing? Like touching base with your clients is a great way. And not always saying, give me money, give me money. You can literally just be telling them, like we sent out an email last week to our whole client base just saying, hey, we officially are proud to announce we have a referral program. If you refer somebody, you get this gift card depending on the amount. And shout out to Nice Job, setting that up has made it really easy. So system for everything. So last thing with the phone, look at making a weekly rhythm for happy calls. Okay. So if you let's look at who you serviced in July. If I'm a betting man, you're listening to this, I don't think you've phoned those clients since you collected the credit card or got a payment of check or however you take money, right? So just calling them and saying, hey, I'm Bill, the business owner. I want to make sure you're happy. Our goal is we have clients for life. Is there any feedback you have that could make your experience even better the next time? Well, you know what? The guy you sent, this, that, the other thing. Okay, no problem. You can get feedback in real time. That goes a long way. You don't get those message check-ins necessarily from a business owner who actually has 2 ears and is willing to listen. So that's one thing I just want to tag on to our phone conversation. And again, like building your brand, all these things kind of work together. There's not one thing on this live stream you're like, oh, I heard it, my business is fixed forever. You've got to look at implementing these different systems to save yourself time, energy, and money.
I love that you said it needs to be a system too, because if you just say, oh yeah, I need to start calling my customers, it's not going to happen. I mean, it's going to be on your to-do list and you're going to have a million fires put out before it. So it's like, you need to get a system in place, whether it's a specific time of day, whether you delegate it out to someone, whatever it is, that it just happens. Otherwise it won't. And that's, I mean, you might do it once or twice and then it doesn't happen anymore. So systematizing is key because it's the consistency that makes the difference. It's that little bit every day. So
yeah, it's the same thing. Everybody listening, if you like extrapolate this to your health, it's like this morning I woke up and it was raining. I didn't really want to go running, but my system was, well, I was running today. I already had my gym clothes out and my shoes are by the door and the system's already done. So I just have to jump in and do it. And same thing with calls, like whether that's going to be like, I personally love Fridays, like when stuff is busy. Fridays are great because I try not do too many meetings and it's kind of just like a flow through day. We actually call the term in our program CEO Fridays. One of our members came up with that, where we had to like steal the guy back and handcuff him to his desk and be like, you're not going in the field. And he created the term CEO Friday and is like tremendously a changed entrepreneur just because he won back that 1 day a week. No quotes, no visiting with clients, no cutting the grass. You're just going to be focused on your admin time, your CEO time. So I think that's another system. Like, I know we're not talking specifically about that, but what Michelle said, like, you've got to have this block scheduled in your week. Otherwise it just, it's probably not going to happen. If you're just, looking at the wind being like, what do I feel like doing today? You're probably not going to get it done. So just like create a process around it. So that's internal. Let's kind of shift gears. Part 2. Are we doing okay for time? Maybe.
Yeah, you're doing great. Yeah,
okay,
keep it.
Sweet.
This is wonderful.
Let's keep going. All right, number 2, guys, is going to be getting famous, like I mentioned, in neighborhoods. That's going to be another key one to focus on. Number of things you can do with this. I'll just kind of rattle them off here. Number 1, if you don't have your truck wrapped or your van wrapped, whatever is going to the neighborhood to do the thing you're doing, I think you're missing a huge opportunity. I posted actually in my Facebook group, right? Is it worth $2,000 to wrap your truck? And 2,000 is a little low. It's probably more like 3,000 to 4,000 to do like a full wrap. However, the principle is like, that is branding and marketing 101. And for me, my story, I didn't have $2,000 back in the day to go wrap a vehicle. So I actually just went on Vistaprint, bought these cheap magnets. They're like $75, put my logo on in the service. They didn't look great, slapped them on the door, and I'm off to the races for $75. So it's like, that's branding at its most rudimentary level. Now, did it look 10 out of 10 professional? No, but did it pick up work and I look better than just a blank panel van? Absolutely. So I would start there, put those on your truck, your van, and then graduate up to a wrap. But I think if you're doing $100,000 with your business or more, you got to be putting away $2,000 to $3,000 to go get that vehicle wrap. So that'd be number 1. Neighbors, I don't know what it is, especially affluent neighbors. They're like the most nosy, wondering what other people are up to on earth. And so the wrap vehicle works perfectly, right? In my neighborhood, I came home from our office the other day. Neighbor had like plumbing trucks nicely wrapped. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what the neighbor's doing, right? You just kind of wonder, you're kind of looking.
True. Yeah.
If those weren't wrapped, I wouldn't be like, I don't know what's going on there and I don't really care. But it made me think, maybe his air conditioning's down. Maybe I need to get mine looked at. Oh, maybe I should, like, it just makes you wonder. So, there's more people, I think, staring at your vehicle and your job site in the neighborhood than people walking the dog, looking out the window, what's going on, what are the Smiths doing at their house? And then human nature is just natural to be comparative and be like, well, if they're getting this done, I need to get, it's the most ridiculous thing on the earth. I don't get it, but that's how people are. They want to keep up with each other. Oh, someone got a new car, someone got their windows cleaned. So it's kind of this like measuring contest, unfortunately, in the West of like, who's doing the best. And so that feeds in perfect if you own a service business. You want to have kind of this FOMO created in the neighborhood of like, oh, we just did, Sue and Bill's windows or Gary and John's windows. Then we're gonna, why aren't we getting that as well? So that's a big one, is just like pinpointing your job site as like, this is the party place. Like, you don't want to be like missing out while we're still here type of thing.
I love that. It's true too. And I think it's almost this instant testimonial as well, because even if you don't know the neighbor, but they're like on your neighborhood, then, oh, if they're using them, they must be trustworthy. You see the truck. So it's also given, oh, well, maybe my AC isn't out right now, or maybe I don't need my windows clean right now, but I'm going to call them next time and remember. So I think it's good too. Yeah.
Like getting famous in the neighborhood is like, I think, the best brand hack. I did a bit of an experiment back in the day when I had my painting business. I actually got $80,000 of work in one neighborhood, and then I went and did it again in another neighborhood within the course of 2 years. And all we did was each subdivision, we painted about 18 homes at about $4,300 a pop, because I knew we did enough of them. I know exactly how to do it. And so what ended up happening, this was all before Google reviews, is I would go in with a reference page, and I still remember the neighborhood. It is called Rosewood Park. And I made a reference sheet, Rosewood Park references, Gary, phone number, this person, this person. And I went into the estimate. By the way, here's your quote. We've done 12 of your neighbors. Definitely give them a call. And I would book work like no other. And so now it's happened with Google, is that social proof is just made digitally now. So I really think when you go into quotes, you want to be a student of your neighborhood. You want to know what kind of cars those people drive, what they do, where they holiday, like not in like a weird way. It's actually called your ideal client avatar. Jill's will know all about this, right? Who they exist to serve. And we go so far with our avatar. My wife makes fun of me because she's like, this is like weirdly creepy. You're, planning where they vacation. I'm like, well, marketing is psychology. You got to know how people make decisions. So I'd really encourage those listening who have a service business, like become a student of the neighborhoods you work in and know what those people do and talk about it like you just did, this house and that house and this house. As soon as I get one house, I'm talking to my next quote about the house that we just did. So it's like the barriers come down. Oh, you did that house? Well, cool. Now I'm not the guinea pig. And that's the other thing. Affluent, they don't want to look dumb to people. They want to look smart, like they came up with the idea. So that's the other thing. Most don't want to be the first person going through. Once there's someone you've already done, they'll be more likely to hire you as well.
I love it.
So yeah, that's neighborhood. What else we can do, everyone? When we clean someone's windows, there's what's called a 5-around or a 10-around. You may have heard of that. You can actually go and drop off a short flyer to the neighbors again to see that you're doing, XYZ house. We see great conversion on those. If we drop off 10, if I'm a betting man, we're going to get one phone call. And some people go so far, you can even, and we've done this before too, you write the address in the 5-around that you just did. So you say, hey, we just did, this house at whatever, 104th Avenue. We'd love to give you a quote as well. Please call us at whatever. So it looks like you were literally just there because you were, and dropping those off work really well. And then the last thing to mention with neighborhood, we got our reps, we got our references, we've got our reviews, referrals. The other thing to mention would be you really want to be pushing signs, in my opinion. You want to be careful of homeowners associations, but you can be asking your clients if you could leave a sign up for 1 to 2 weeks after the project. This works great for like mid-tier job sizes. Like when I had my painting company, we would leave a sign up and I could cruise the neighborhood and see my sign, on every 10th house. And it's a great feeling of pride and also just social proof. You're like, my goodness, this company is everywhere. I now know who to call. So it all comes down to perceived value. It's not about, like, marketing is not about who's the best window cleaner in town. It's about who offers the best client experience and who does the best job telling the market about that with a compelling offer. Your windows still need to be clean, don't get me wrong, but like the best detailed window cleaner on earth is not going to have the best business. He or she is just going to be the best window cleaner.
So true. I love that. Yeah. Do you suggest also, like, I mean, if you have your ideal neighborhoods, you got the signs, you got the wrap, like leaving little either notes on the door or even a little gift with it. I know my very first job when I was like a kid, right? Wasn't old enough to have a real job, is my neighbor was a really successful realtor, and he had a few, key neighborhoods, and he'd pay us every month. We'd go his last name was Baker. So that was kind of his theme. And we drop off like a teaspoon, measuring thing. And then over the holidays, we would, he'd pay us $1 for every pumpkin loaf we'd make, and we'd hand deliver it to everyone's home. And it was like, it just like keeping them front of mind. So I mean, have you had success doing things like that in some way?
We haven't done that too much, but I will tell you, in marketing, it works. There's a realtor around here as well. Every Halloween, he'll drop off pumpkins with his business card, right? They load them all on a trailer. It's like that's just the thing he does. My parents' realtor, super random, but they give away Christmas trees, and Christmas trees now with inflation can be like $150 for a nice tree. They gather everyone. All the realtors are there making hot dogs and smokies and hot chocolate. And it's like, it's a super like cool experience. You bring the family there. So again, that's just different. So I think like, marketing, you've got to stand out. Read Seth Godin's book, Purple Cow, how you can do something different. I think even we don't have Send Gym in Canada. The day we do, I will gladly sign up. But I know I've got people in our program, you can send brownies as well to like your client or people around, and it might cost you $30, but what's it worth in the long scheme of running business? It's nothing to keep someone happy.
Yeah, so true.
I guess the other thing I'll throw out too, and this is a little ninja hack we do, I think the easiest gift cards to send in the world is Starbucks and Amazon. If somebody gives us a referral, I'll go on to just the Starbucks app. All you need is an email address, and you just shoot them over, coffee. So I'll be like, hey, coffee on Revive, here's a $30 gift card. And it's like, you should have in your P&L, your profit and loss, you should have it built in there for like client give back or, rewards program or something where you're giving back. Like I would personally rather incentivize my client base to go tell the community of our services than like go give Facebook more money, right? And I don't want to be anti-paid ads because they do work. I just think sometimes we put the cart before the horse, and someone comes in and I want to grow a business. Oh, you've got to spend boatloads on Facebook. Again, I just think that's the fire that you pour on when you're already mastering these organic methods. And everyone's area is different, but I do think organic can certainly get you enough jobs to get you off the truck and get a team built. And then you can kind of move into talking about paid ads, I think. So yeah, really pushing the neighborhood marketing, really being different. Last thing I'll say on this too, you should be, we drive our territory every year. We have a map. If you Google right now, Google My Maps, you can actually make a custom marketing map for your city. So we do green neighborhoods are like gravy, like our ideal clients. Orange is like, this is kind of B grade. And then C is like, we're probably not going to market to them. You could even so much as upload your client base to your Google My Map. Google will drop a pin in every job you've ever had. So again, just kind of, I don't know if people have heard about this before, maybe it's the first time, but you should know where all your jobs are and be able to see it on a map. And so Google My Maps, it's free. Again, a lot of this stuff, it just takes a bit of tenacity and some time as the business owner. And when you look at marketing, you either have more time than money. I would say in the cleaning niche, like 95% of the time, the business owner has more time. And they'll want to get, kind of do some of these methods I'm sharing to get your business off the ground. So yeah, hopefully some of this stuff is helping.
I love it.
Yeah, any questions at all, or when should we jump into part 3 here? Anything else even on the neighborhood kind of building a brand?
I thought it was some great thoughts. Caitlin, do you have any thoughts on it as well, or you're welcome to keep going too.
Nothing specifically. I just like, as you're talking about all of it, I'm like realizing how much more like I'm marketed to than I like realize. Like I'm thinking of like the trucks I see in my neighborhood, or like someone put like a fly swatter on my car the other day that was like had a QR code for like pest control or something, just like the littlest things. But like when I need pest control, I'm gonna go to that guy with the fly swatter because that was cool, and now I have a fly swatter. Like there's little things that you don't think of and don't seem like a big deal, but they really are. Yeah, no, that's really cool. And that's one thing, Caitlin, thanks for mentioning, like the power of the QR code through the pandemic is like crazy. We're not using that on everything, right? And I think that's a great way you can have people take a quick call to action. Like if anyone's eaten out at a restaurant in the last 2 years, you're probably not getting a menu, you're just taking your phone and scanning the code, which is a pretty cool place to be in. And so having that QR code is huge. I think on the signs too, I do want to mention, there's these like big plastic signs called Signacade signs. You can get them on Vistaprint or at a local print shop. We've had members like literally buy one of those signs, put their inserts in it, and just says, their logo, their services, free quote, arrow down, QR code. That thing pays for itself in the first week or two. So if you're doing like even 20% of these things I'm saying, they're going to work for you. And again, the whole topic,
not an arm and a leg. Well, that sign could be $300 and there's one job, boom, we're paid for that and you own the sign. And so you want to have people walking the dog by, you want to have neighbors seeing the site. And also as a client, you want to have your home have like a professional kind of feel. That's why you are paying for, you get what you pay for. So really, yeah, really good stuff there. And then number 3, everyone's going to be online strategies, but not paid online. I'm going to be touching on some organic strategies. And this is kind of where I want to do a screen share. So hopefully the Facebook stream can pick this up. But oh, there we are right there. So this is what I kind of wanted to touch on, everybody, is there's these Facebook community groups, right? If you've got a pressure washing business, you're probably in 2 or 3 or 4 of them, which is great groups to have. What I want to talk about though is where your clients are going to actually be. And I just did this this last week and wanted to show you some direct social proof here. Okay, so right here we've got this group called Families of West Cloverdale, where we work. We do a bunch of work in there. And so I literally posted this from my Facebook, right? Hello, Cloverdale neighbors. Now that the sun's here, want to let you know we got a 10% off sale at Revive. We'll send you a quote for whatever. Should probably white out this person's name, but regardless, you get the idea. List all of our services, right? What we do, and then send me a PM for your quote. And this lady comes along. Hey, we live in West Cloverdale. Love to get a quote for our gutters cleaned out. Perfect. I get her information, send her to our office team, and we've got a lead just like that. Took me 15 minutes to get this post together and had a lead already come in. So it's like simple stuff is you don't have to be like overcomplicating what you want to be doing here online. And so if you look at your area, I would look at joining some of the communities that you work in. Don't go on and spam them, right? I'm not posting this every day, buy my stuff. I'm still active in those groups, adding value, but there will be a time. And some of these groups even have like, Tuesdays or Sundays where you're going to be allowed to actually go and, promote your stuff. So that's kind of one thing you could look at doing there in these groups. And I think a big thing to keep in mind is like, be more social than be salesy. And so even if you need something for your house or your family or whatever, just go and post and try and add some value to the conversation. But that definitely works. So I think thinking step 2, right, was neighborhood. Who can we target? This is kind of like that same people in the neighborhood, but where are they actually at digitally? Again, arm and a leg, we're not spending that. This is actually going for free in some of these groups.
David, the other thing I was thinking with that is, make sure you're part of any local business groups on Facebook, because I know every time I need something done for my home or something done for our business, that's where I go is like, okay, who's in my local community, like my chamber of commerce, or there's a few other things that because I understand I want to work business to business that could help me out. And so there's other business owners that also have a home or a business that's going to need service. So network in there as well, I think, and posts, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's a great point, Michelle. Anything chamber, guys, is great. I think when you do own a business locally, you have a heart for other local business owners. And so I'll always try rather hire the local person than hire, the huge corporate franchise that has, 1 million locations. So kind of, everybody's has different tastes, but I think it's nice to hire people within the community and always be, I don't know if I love the word networking, but just like connecting, right? I think the biggest opportunity cost to most service business owners is just who does not know them in their community. And so you've got to, again, be bold to promote yourself. And, it's just going to take time. A couple other things to touch on would be the social media. I know we've heard it, right? Okay, social media, but like actually posting. Why do we not post? I personally don't post when I don't have content to post. And so some of you hearing this, the only thing you need to hear today, go contact. When we talk about local, this is actually a great segue. Go into the Facebook group, say, does anyone know a good local photographer? Post that. You're going to get 6 to 14 comments. Go message 2 or 3 of those people and ask them if they do a company photo shoot. Oh, but Dave, I don't have any employees. No problem. I was doing a photo shoot when I was just this guy. When I started my business, got a cheap pressure washer. I got my sister who had a camera and I was getting her to start a business. She took like 100 photos of me on job site. That's what we used for the first flyers, for the first website, for the first whatever. Now we have a larger team. wrap vehicles. We all went to the beach this year. We brought coffee, donuts, muffins, did a little team meeting, brought a photographer there, cost me $300-400. We took big team photos. We got 100 images. We now have content for days that we can be posting to our channel. So again, no excuses with promoting this business. I think you need good quality photography, and you need to have a good system around it. So I would be booking in a photo shoot. I would be making a Google Drive with all those images. And I would have content that you're going to have for the next few years. We've been doing photo shoots now for 6 years. We've got content that we are good to post. So I think really make your team kind of the heroes of your company. Be good promoting them. Post before and after photos. Post testimonials. A lot of you listening get great Google reviews. That's another good thing. Show that social proof how happy people are as well. And then to just touch on a couple examples here, right? Reels are great. Instagram seems to really be favoring Reels. So us at Revive, we're starting to get more heavy into those, getting more traction as that goes. And then here's just an example of a simple Facebook post, right? This is from our photo shoot here. This is Roger. He's one of our rock stars. And so we posted here, right? 5-star review. Roger really brightened our day. Great job. Thank you again. And then a call to action, right? Call Revive at the phone number there. And so great post, good looking team member, showing off the brand. And so I think sometimes on social, we end up just, showing some before and afters, kind of stock photos. No one's really interested in that. I think you want to be like your true self through your brand, and you really want to show the team that, is part of your brand. And also, like, don't be shy to turn that camera around and just take a short 1-minute tour around on site and show us what you're doing. I think that's what people want to see. We're so like marketed to all day, like Caitlin said. I think we want to really find something that's different and really stand out. So I think for us, social media has been a daily rhythm we've kept up for the last number of years, and it certainly provides us with leads and puts a good flashlight, good spotlight on our brand locally.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. I think being raw and real, that's what people love. And they love seeing your personality as well. Because again, it makes you real, and they want to hire people and invite people in their home who they can trust and just seem like a normal person like them. So I think that's perfect. I love that.
Yeah, no, totally. And like reviews are just so huge. I know we've talked about this. I've had some conversations with Nice Job about this, but really, like when we talk about marketing, like I do believe word of mouth is the best marketing, but I also believe if you strictly rely on word of mouth, it's going to be hard to grow a company, substantially, I think. And so Michelle mentioned it, right? You've got to look at multi-touch point. And when you talk to businesses that have grown, like this marketing discussion is not going to be like a 1-hour chat. It's going to be like a multi-day thing of all these different things we have. But I just wanted to bring what I think is the lowest hanging fruit that you could get going for a couple grand, to be honest. You could get going. And I really think with marketing, like if you're going to spend a 10% of your revenue, you should be looking for a 10x return on everything. So anytime I'm dumping in $1,000 to a phone campaign or to whatever, I want to be getting in the neighborhood of a 10 times return. And so just kind of keep that in mind when you frame up marketing. I don't think it's enough to just like get your money back. I think you should get your money back, and you should be able to get a return as well.
I love that. Yeah. Incredible. Those are 3 great tips.
Yeah, we'll kind of sum them up. So we had right, internal, look right under your nose. Even if you got 40 clients, guys, email them, call them. For us in our office, we do 15 outbound calls every single day. It doesn't matter time of year, just call 15 people. Don't go home till that's done. If that's 15, whatever, maybe you don't have a lot of work right now. Maybe we jack it up to 30, whatever it is, be touching base. If you don't get them, leave a voicemail or text them like we talked about. Make those happy calls, right? So important. The relationship doesn't end when we get money. Be different, follow up and check in, seek feedback from your clients. They're going to tell you how the service experience was. So that's number 1. 2, become famous in your neighborhoods, guys. Don't become famous on TikTok, become famous in the select neighborhoods. Have the homeowners know about you. Start to rub shoulders in the community as well, like we mentioned, right? The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, they need to know who you are. And so that's another big one too, right? Neighborhood marketing strategies are cost effective, and you have the benefit of social proof going on when people see you at their neighbor's house. So that's a huge one where I'd be starting. Get a marketing map, go to Google My Maps, learn where your clients are. The next clients to walk into your business are just neighbors of the current clients you've already had. So keep that in mind. I'd rather you go crazy in a subdivision of 200 homes than try and take on 20,000 homes and do an EDDM campaign and spend $2,000. Like, just look small and targeted. And then last would be the online marketing strategies via social channels. Again, non-paid, but just going and getting social in groups, referring others, becoming referable, and also hiring local guys. I think you've got a local business, you've got a card to play, and you've got to play that and connect with others around you as well. So those would be the big three. And the last thing I'd say is just be patient with marketing. When I look at how my brand has grown, it didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen in one season. We're now 6 years into it. It will take some time to get some traction. I didn't quit my other business I had going on until year 3 of Revive, where it really was growing and getting good traction. So took me some time in order to fully jump in and make it my full-time thing. So I think just be patient as you grow marketing as well. Growing your business is done like cooking a slow meal in a crock pot, not 45 seconds on the microwave. So I think just be really conscious. Maybe the final last thing I'll say, and then I'll shut up, is marketing's just planting seeds, right? And so sometimes we think as business owners, oh, we booked a 10 grand job. We're so excited, right? And you should be, but I'd really be more look at the inputs and be like, what seeds did I plant today? Maybe I met, a local painter in that Facebook group, or I got my A-frame sign made, or a QR code, or the truck wrap. Those are all things that we planted seeds today on this Thursday today, right? And when I might not book a job today on August 4, and that's okay. But I know by the end of August, September, October, someone's going to see that sign. I'll be like, I remember that Facebook Live. I figured that out. I took action. I did that. The harvest came 90 days later. So just control your seed plant today, and the harvest will come. I can promise you. So that's kind of what I'd say on that point.
That was awesome. I love those analogies right there at the end too. Like, these are slow cookers. We're not nuking stuff in the microwave.
Yeah.
We're dealing with, like, you got to plant stuff now if you're expecting to harvest anything later down the road. Those are all perfect. Literally loved everything you had to say. What I really loved is that like, you had so many good points, but it's not like you mentioned, it's not like things you can just like do once and be done. It's not going to happen overnight. Like, you have to keep at it. You have to like keep going with it, because that's just how everything is in life. And we forget that. We live in a generation when we just want stuff at the tip of our fingers. So that was super awesome. Do you have any last questions or anything, Michelle?
No, that's great. Thank you so much for coming on, David. This was such valuable stuff. So thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Okay.
And if people want to learn more about your coaching program, or how they can, get connected with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, probably just to head over to my website, guys. You can see it, the logo there, at least. It's just homeservicebusinesscoach.com. You can check out what we're up to. And I really specialize in helping owners get off the truck and start systematizing their business. And marketing's just one of those passion points I love to go off on. So thank you, Michelle and Caitlin, for having me on. I hope there was some good practical takeaways, and I'm always just a message away too, if someone hits me up on Facebook or whatnot. Always happy to help, because I've been at this a while now, and I know the ups and downs we can have as entrepreneurs. And I learned so much from talks like these, or books, or podcasts, and just you want to be able to go learn and apply in your business. So I hope that if it helped one person, I'm happy for doing this, and we can do it again, I'm sure, in the future.
I love
That's
it.
awesome. Thank you so much, David. We appreciate it. We'll include the link that he talked about in the comments, and we'll see you all next month. Thanks, David.
Awesome. See you guys. Bye-bye.